Alright guys, welcome to the second game of LNG versus T1. Hopefully this is better because my god was that first game really brutal to watch. The changes we see is still blue side. They banned Jarvan themselves and they banned Azir. So they banned the two picks they played. They also have an Ori ban and Eco ban. So mid lane is like really up for grabs at this point. Like it's Syndra and it's some melees and then it's some ADs. So Maokai is actually a phenomenal pick because Maokai lets you play more ADs mid anyways. So this is a good start. It's a great start. Caitlyn's up. I don't know if they're like, and like Caitlyn was one of the bans they had. I don't know if Caitlyn's like something to them that are like, yeah, we need to fucking take that, but we'll see. Rel. So they're doing the Rel flex again. And again, this, I'm not gonna lie, after watching this in the, was it the JDG series? No. It was the Energy versus Weibo series. This flex on red side at the 1-2 is brutal. It is definitely rough.
It was more so the fact he was playing into a lane that relied on hitting blitz crackles, but didn't happen. And then come mid game, like what was he gonna do with the team already being so far behind? I think you're completely correct.
Aatrox. So that's amazing. So typically you would not just blind Aatrox straight up because the pick is not actually OP by any means. Like there's a couple picks you can definitely play into it, but this is like literally calling this guy out. It's like, yeah, by the way, you're not fucking beating me. And so like Jax is up, Gwen is up. You can play Jason to it. It just means this guy has to hit tabbies to actually deal with this. I don't know if he plays Jace though. So yeah, you know. Some people have played Renekton into it. I mean, this used to be like a big favorite, like a trade-off, right? There's definitely options. Let's just say that. But they should just take Jace here. Take Jace. You know, the mid options are not going to be great anyways. To go that route. And then, how do they want to round this out? Because they can take their top at this point. Because like Jace Flex is like whatever anyways. And just finish out the top side and then play it off from there. And then just save your duo picks for the 4-5, and then you can at least get a little bit of a counter, which is great, because last game your duo literally could do nothing. It's just, what are they, what flavor do they take?
Should be going towards Scout, and now we have to find out where they want to go from here. Do you pick a top laner now? Are you willing to go back towards that Gwen? Are you scared off of it after that first game? Renekton, definitely a stable pick, but it is going to be Gwen again, and I think it makes sense, right? Like, I don't think you would just completely doubt yourself.
So they're doing Gwen again. Okay. So he wants another crack at it. Sure. Silas. So I'm gonna say right now, this ulti is actually not. This is kind of like whatever. It's actually not that crazy of an ulti. This obviously is really good, and then again, this is kind of like super whatever. So do I like the Silas pick? Not really. Honestly, this is kind of like an ego draft. Like Aatrox and Silas is like an ego picks. So they banned Kaisa, which is, you know, again, a Gala favorite, and they're like, okay, you know, this guy's really good on it. We'll ban it. Screw it. You know, Guma doesn't have that kind of how do I say it? Ego, I guess. Nautilus. Okay, so they're just banning Nautilus straight up. Caitlyn, which makes sense. They want to get rid of any like options that are like enchanters. Last time they banned Aphelios. Renata's not a bad ban, because I was gonna say Aphelios is really whatever again. Like, should not give a shit about Aphelios.
I agree, and I think Faker, most people would not have expecting him to get the better of Scout in the 1v1, and in the first game, Faker absolutely did. This time, Scout is going to have the agency in the early levels on the
Varus. Interesting. So he matches some of the poke of his opponents, though Gwen is really good into him, so he might be on hit, so it might not really be that much poke.
It's going to be the Varus, which I always think, you know, is nice in some of these early situations because it's really flexible. You can go AP, you can go on hit, you can go lethality. There's lots of...
What do they take into this? I mean, I won't lie, Sivir's pretty free. Like, it's a pretty free game for her in many ways. And you just want to deny him having any good ultis
Different angles
anyways.
here. I do think they need some consistent DPS, so I'm expecting it to be either AP or just purely on hit. But knowing Guma,
We'll
if they blow
see.
up the AP,
Aphelios. Okay. It's like, alright. It's okay. Personally, I would prefer just putting more focus on my, like, actual, like, solos and just making bot, like, a whatever lane. They have the blind bot. And it's Silas Rel. It's like, you know, Milio's rather good here, no? I mean, the only thing they're worried about is Alistar. I guess they could still, I mean, again, the Rel flex comes into play. I mean, they could actually play Rel if they played Milio, right? And it's these two, and then the lane is actually pretty scary. But at the same time, I'm going to say right now, if you pick Milio into Rel, you can just Q her. Like, it's very doable to kind of deal with that. And they'd have to pick a jungle, and they might pick, like, I don't know, Vi. They would go around that way. I'm probably okay with that still. But hey, you know, it's their call. I don't know. I can't remember what the hell this guy's good at. And they pick Ashe. So it's the same situation as last time. Like, you know, you have a counter match up top for Gwen into Aatrox, which, like, you know, Aatrox might have difficulty with. But they have a humping bot lane. And it's a very obnoxious bot lane because they can chase down really well. So Rakan can't engage unless Maokai's pathing bot. So Maokai's gonna path bot. Now this is even more problematic because they can easily invade bot side yet again. Like yeah, it's super free.
So it's not just gonna be the ward that gets to worry about these hot shots and interact from that, worry about potential invades coming in from owner on the rel as well. So I do think there's gonna be a lot of pressure already here on how Gala and Hong are gonna be able to actually work this.
And this was specifically the type of pairings where T1 looked monstrously far ahead of everyone else during the spring meta, right? When it was all about, we saw like Caitlyn support, the Varus, the Ashe, right? We basically saw everything. Yeah,
the worst time to play bot lane in the history of bot lane.
Not fun.
Or the best, depending on if you enjoyed those supports.
Yeah, it was
or if your name was Haria.
Yep.
It was every single game, right? Every single game you heal level 1 just to get prio of the wave, and from that point on the game becomes...
How do we do it, guys? How do we avoid not getting screwed over?
Clearly gonna be going all in for that early prio in that first couple levels here, trying to chunk down Hong, who's been spotted, and
Two slows already coming through. It's not gonna connect. You duck forcing on W start coming Hong. Now walking away. That's the heal you mentioned at level 1. A little sooner than we expected, Chronicler, but trying to zone the Rakan away.
yeah, I think they thought they might be able to actually get all the way in to force out a summoner. Unfortunately, the heal does get kind of wasted there, so I think that removes a lot of the advantage they had from that initial attack. You can also see Gala, knowing how hard this lane is gonna be, he's on boots 4 pots.
Start coming Hong. Two slows already coming through.
Trying to chunk down all in for that early prio.
He didn't do it. He didn't even do the cheese.
All in for that early prio in that first couple levels here, trying to chunk down Hong.
He just gets hit by one slow.
It's not gonna connect. You duck forcing on W start coming Hong. Now walking away. That's the heal you mentioned at level 1. A little sooner than we expected, Chronicler, but trying to zone the Rakan away.
Yeah, I think they thought they might this lane is staying.
It's still done, though.
And look, it happens. It just, oh, it doesn't happen, though. Okay, thank God. I was gonna say, like,
Trying to have the sustain to survive.
holy shit, if this happens again, it's gonna be really rough. So,
this is about as defensive as it starts. As you can
I think the only reason why Owner is not doing this, even though they threatened it, and they just want to see if they could get any sums early on, the only reason why he didn't do it is because he does not want to leave Zeus in a shitty situation like last time. Like, they're like, well, we're actually kind of lucky that you didn't get screwed over completely, so let's just make this a little bit more normal. But here's the thing, Tarzan's starting Wolves. If your Raptors are not being started, and did they ever know if Red Buff was started?
how hard his lane is staying to survive and trying to have the ability to sidestep and avoid a lot of this damage.
Not really. I probably would have had preference him actually just coming up here just to check, just in case, just in case. Because if he spots this, then that means that Tarzan, and yes, I will also again say that these guys can build a wave and then invade the red this way, and that also could be problematic. But I'd rather take that situation than doing something that possibly screws me over, like, clear-wise. Because by doing wolves, like, all your camps are going to spawn in an awkward way, and that's not going to be good.
And remember that you can earn exclusive Worlds 2023 drops, right? Linking your Riot account at loginsports.com. World emotes, icons. Get in there. Get yourself just like Bars is getting in there right now because Hail of Blades, baby! Oh!
Yeah.
That's the fun part.
And also, you know, if they eat too many shit trades bot, which is happening a little bit, he has to stay bot. If he leaves bot, they're really screwed. And again, okay, please tell me they knew this was warded. I mean, I know Faker was here, like, kind of late. Actually, they don't. But he could have warded it. They easily could have warded it. So the fact that he shows here, owner just reads this, he's like, okay, thank you. And then he has to be down here because he has to defend in case there's, like, some kind of, you know, dive. But the reality is these guys Hopefully they don't put themselves in a diving situation.
This is a clean early game from T1 thus far.
I also think there's potential double scuttling.
The game's just... Dude, the game's just over.
Is because if you hit your gleaming whale,
Low-key, the game is actually just over. Like, you don't have bush control. You have W, so you can't heal.
Get in there. Get your stuff just like esports.com.
And then you get into situations like this, where preferably, you know, he can't actually, like, W onto him, because if he does, he'll get chased down, possibly. So you kind of just have to eat ass, but also he has boots and 4 pots, so he's gonna be fine. He probably will be fine. And yes, there's a reality that, like, Rel could do her 3 camps and then come straight bot, right? Sorry, I never got rid of that. Come three camps bot, right? And then he does these 3 camps. He's gonna be a little bit later, and they might have to sack a little bit. But so be it. I mean, like, you really do need to just, like, ensure that, like, your clear is good. The fact that this opens up, oh my god, Maokai's game is over. It's actually over. So they get mid flash.
Oh, they do spot Tarzan. We'll see if Owner wants to contest her. Zika does have early priors towards the upside, so this does deny the double scuttle, and that's a big win.
And he did not anticipate Owner would be from behind him. So again, that's them not really anticipating that Owner was going to make that kind of play in the ward that was shown. And now Tarzan's just like, okay, well, I guess I'll go to my wolves and then clear back down from these camps, I guess. No. Well, he goes here because he's, like, I guess worried that possibly his... Oh man, his camp clear is so bad. Oh, he's flipping it even harder because he just wants to go into... Oh man. It's ballsy, but, like, okay. Like, I'm just saying, like, from a jungle perspective, by not doing wolves here, you're already behind. If he clears his camps and does this shit, you're pretty screwed. I'm gonna assume he's basic because he got his, like, item fully, right? So, technically, he should kind of identify that, oh, this might be a play, right? Because if you notice, he's actually pinging where Maokai could be. It's like, you know, he's probably on these camps, FYI. But this guy's kind of, like, doing a very surprise play.
Healing as well. Can he find a target? He's gonna flash back under the tower. Shock blast there. Faker making it out to safety.
And Faker actually did not have to die, by the way. He actually could have just left and accepted the situation, but he actually killed himself. If he didn't kill himself and give that, like, wow. That's rough. Now here's the thing. Maokai can actually recover if he full clears. All he has to do is clear out his camps and then prep himself for Herald.
Very much now, able to get scout ahead early as we see the gang come through here again.
Yeah, not much to this, honestly. Nice E here from Faker. Buys a little bit of space. The Shockblast does connect, but then the flash out. And it's just free. He goes back in, wants to see if he gets some XP or get some of those minions. Does give over the first blood. But again, look at the gold. It's T1 up gold. When it's 6 minutes, you have a first blood. That's a massive difference they have actually overcome just through farm and through the plate already on bot side. You can see, look at Gala's position. You know, he had to buy those 4 pots early on, had to use them all in that first kind of cycle of laning phase. And now on the other side, you've got some early lethality pickup. You've got tier 2 boots early on here from Carrier, which is one of the really nice advantages about actually playing these ranged supports here. Is that it's so easy to farm gold compared to a relic shield. You get so much more gold as long as you have access to these autos and to actually hitting in on that. So great early buys for T1 bottom lane.
Certainly, and I think it's frustrating too because the gold lead is actually bigger than implied because you've already spent 200 gold on pots. And you've already lost so much gold just going for consumables. Guma has the refillable, not losing nearly as much, and this is going to be frustrating as they go further into the lane. Boots are going to make it safer, but meanwhile in the mid lane, Tarzan in the area, but again, the hawk shots coming through.
Yeah, also the ward there in
I don't know. I don't know. Personally, if I was Maokai, I'm doing my Gromp. I'm doing my wolves, and I'm just clearing down. I'm going to give cover to my bot lane, get them to reset, and then I'll be level 6, like, well, he's not going to be level 6 at all. He's definitely not... Ooh. It's not going to be level 6 for Herald at the same time, even if he does do this. But at least it helps him recover a little bit. Him doing it this way, he looks at bot. He's like, okay, no options. You know, you could use Recon Flash and actually go for something. I don't know if he's anticipating that Rel could be here. Because the last time they knew Rel was, they know Rel did Dragon. And Rel could, in theory, be bot lane because the wave is actually getting... I don't know why they turned around the wave, by the way. They should have just kept it frozen. Why did they do it that way? What? I'm sorry for rewinding so much in this game. I'm definitely, like, spending a lot more time on the first 6 minutes and talking about it, but it's just... Right now, this wave is advantageous for them. This guy just did Dragon, and they know his top camps are probably up. Right? Either Rel's down here to fight, But Maokai could have just cleared like normal, held the wave, and then start turning the wave for a reset that lets your duo move into Herald together, which might be actually decent. But this way, it's like they started turning it around, and then Maokai's like, okay, well, now it's kind of hard to gank. And then he starts moving up because he's like, well, it's kind of hard to gank. And then they start fighting bot and actually turning the wave back. And now he's looking mid because Faker has no flash. And he does have flash, but there's nothing here as well. So now bot lane's getting humped again. So because of Tarzan, bot lane is getting humped again. Also, it's because of Gala. So it's like on these two, right? You should be using your Recon Flash to get something on bot side, technically. Especially because you also have Purple Gun, which is like one of the most advantageous things for like catching this guy. Like they probably, in theory, could kill Ashe if she ints her pathing at all. But now Tarzan's just stuck down here. And then again, his bot lane's just getting humped religiously. And even though Zeus is down farm, he hasn't died. He's chilling. Again, I don't really understand the point of the pick, but like, I mean, they're gonna lose Herald, probably. Like, unless... Also, I'm glad he didn't rush boots this time to Gwen. But your bot lane's getting humped, so even if, let's say, T1 could not, like, contest Herald for whatever reason, they're getting a lot bot. And it looks like the duo's gonna reset so it can actually approach and come up here. And so that's why he's actually starting it up. They see Rakan helps get this. They pull off. Okay, not a big deal. One's moving down. And now we're going to see. Are they going to fight it together, or are they just going to give it up and go bot? Maokai's still not level 6, like we said, because he lost 2 camps. He actually needs to farm a little bit more to hit 6. And this is not very contestable if Maokai's level 5. If he hit the shock blast, it definitely would have been rough.
But it's going to be Gala basing, so LNG looking like they're going to bail out of this and just heading down towards bot, because if you look at the map, it's a big wave that's actually crashing, and even with Gala leaving, I think he's going to be too late, unfortunately, to get most of that.
Okay, I will say right now that this shit is extremely funny, only just because I understand T1's really fixated on this, but like I said, they had an opportunity to literally just like bait around this, and their dual lane would have gone here and just started eating again. And it doesn't matter if enemy gets Herald. I know it's like it's a power play, which is good. But at that point, your bot lane already would have sacked another 2 plates probably by now. They're out. Like, that's it. But instead, they opt to just, like, stay here a really long time to make sure it is literally impossible. Also, can we just talk about how during this whole time, how does he catch back up? Because he dropped a little bit of the wave. Okay, so he's actually not as far down because I guess it was a building wave. So Zeus is actually not as far down as I thought, which is amazing. And so now they're trying to look for a dive on bot and get something back. Okay, doesn't anticipate it, but nothing bad happens. So this overall, I'm just going to say right now, T1 kind of messed up like this whole Herald situation because he got 2 plates. Like he literally got 2 plates solo gold here. And it's kind of reduced like what these guys were having because these guys were owning the shit out of these guys. And it's also kind of good for Maokai because if this guy's not farming, then Maokai's like, okay, cool. Like we're kind of going back into even state. So, wow. That was kind of a big error. And then Tarzan does what? Tarzan's like, I want the crab. I have support. My AD can even lean over. Where's my AD doing? He just kind of fully leaves. Like he wants to, I guess he wants to base for item. And if he does, and that's his intentions, then you never go for this. But ideally, like, your support's here, your AD's moving up to also be like around here. And they try to mess around, then maybe you can fight. He doesn't have a lot of mana, but he has... Is it fightable? He doesn't have Mawar. Or his guns? And also Ashe Herald's gone. Maybe if Gala is leaning into this, it's okay. But he kind of wants the base. So I'm gonna assume that's why this is like just turning awkward. So I mean the team was just not like together, and yeah, he just loses his flash. And they probably would never take Dragon anyways at that point because, I mean, Guma is still stronger. And, yeah, I mean, he had Mao R. Like, he stole Mao R. So, there wasn't really much.
Step forward, the combo coming through the abduction of the kitty cat, again, forcing out the flash. The snare will connect. But there's no follow-up there. Instead, Herald immediately going to get dropped. T1 now looking to grab 2 plates here. Flash in, though, owner's not happy with just 2 plates down. Now going to be in trouble. They take quite a bit of forward, revenge, though. Instead, Herald
Yeah, well played, right?
grab 2 plates here. Flash in.
Holy shit, well played.
Who's going to be able to get that side lane advantage? Zika.
Step forward, the combo coming through the abduction of the kitty cats. Once again, forcing out the flash. The snare will connect. But there's
So Scout was, honestly, when I think about it more, watching how this went down, like after this situation, this guy's so low. So either he's getting this plant, or he just needs a base because his like conditions are terrible, right? Like he doesn't really want to fight. He wants a base. So yeah, this is always terrible. Took me way too long to identify that. And then he can come back. He'll come back. Maybe he sacks a little bit more. But they'll be in good position. They'll lose this for sure. But it is what it is. But because he stayed and then Mao lost his flash, and this guy's getting his base canceled because he's like going mid to like push one more. They identify this as like, oh shit, yo, this is a chance to play mid, by the way. And like, good on him to identify because he's like, okay, I'm gonna go in. I think he gets hit by the Q, and then Faker goes in for it. And now they just dove this guy. So he's dead. Herald hits. Balling's getting humped again. Gwen TP'd. So they used Gwen TP, but she loses a lot of potency top, which in the end, it's like if you have to use your your top laner TP just to get this like bot fixed, it's not good. Especially when you are the counter pick top. Like let's just say, let's stress this. If you are the counter pick top and you are unable to get that like clear advantage where like you're not gonna lose that much if you TP bot in the first place, you probably fucked up. Now, this game is far from like over or anything like that. I'm not gonna be doomsday for LNG because yeah, the gold difference is not that big, but the dragon stacking is gonna be an issue. So to see.
Barely dodged away from there. Calm, cool, like a punk. I'm going to clear out this wave. And I think it's an excellent call out. This is such a tricky position for LNG to find themselves in. Need to hold on to some semblance of control in this game. Good news is, after that game 1, much more controlled game 2. At least trading a little bit, trading low for low, matching in some circumstances. Well, T1 still grabbing more plates, still holding on to a gold. The LNG at least not making the same mechanical missteps that they did in game 1. What is really important though is for LNG to try and hold on to these turrets. As long as that outer ring of turrets remains standing, T1 can't really fully take control, especially once Gareth finishes his umbral. If you start dropping turrets, and I think the second herald actually going to be pretty hotly contested for this reason, it becomes a lot harder to actually keep control. And I do think a single target lockdown on T1 can be really tough to deal with.
Okay.
It's all over the place. But at least there's no one with a crazy massive goldie like there was the previous game.
This is a very, very even.
Maokai's playing on the Jace side. Jace has the most damage. He can play on either side, but so he's playing down here. Dragon's coming up. Gwen definitely can fight out the Sylas, by the way. There'll be a point where Sylas does just kind of murk the Gwen. Actually, not true exactly. It just depends. But if Gwen just builds more AP, yeah, she will absolutely rip this Sylas apart. Well, we got a little inting going on. Because keep in mind, so this entire time, you know, Tarzan, he's just kind of sticking around bot. He's not really doing any fishes around mid. Because like after he does this camp, like yeah, he could be mid. He could be throwing saplings around mid. And having R, his team takes the wave, and then Rakan can actually move and do something and join. But he's staying bot, he bases, he gets what? Merc treads? Okay, sure. Again, he's around mid, throws sapling, okay. Then he's going through bot again, which, to be honest, is not exactly what you should be doing, in theory. I mean, he's just doing this because it's like the lane that they're clearly getting priority from, but there's like no bushes. Like, there's no actual bushes for Maokai to use, so his champion is not actually that good being through bot. It's only because Zeus decides to, okay, hey, I see this guy, I'm gonna go fuck with this guy. And that's why this like whole situation starts. And obviously, you know, this guy's not built to face like an AD user, so he had to get the hell out. Do not, oh no. I was gonna say he definitely did not want to use his R there because they're just gonna run away, right? Like it was very clear, like this, like your teammates are done for now. Don't do anything. You failed to kill him. He has TP. He has R. Even though like there's some danger to Zeus doing this, and this guy doesn't have flash, by the way. And if we're looking for where Khan's approaching, in all honesty, I don't know why he's going this way. If you're gonna contest through bot, just go through bot too, man. Like your Philios is just gonna have to deal with it, you know? So if Khan was like already here and he actually was able to join this situation, it's actually winning. But this is Zeus just being an idiot to me because what are they gonna do? They're gonna take this ward and then they're gonna have 2 members here, right? And then they're gonna perma push mid, and your Philios is never gonna be able to connect. Like he's gonna have to wait till like this guy comes down, takes over this, and then he moves over, and then it's still not that great. So technically LNG are in a bad spot. It's just Zeus gives them a rare opportunity, and if Hong just like trusted moving with his team and just like I said, in theory you don't really want to do this, but it's like, well, something happened, and if he was there, it actually would have been really good. And yeah, he loses Gwenar, and you can't fight the dragon, and the dragon's theirs. So that's the 3rd dragon, and now we just have 1 more left on the queue, and he TP top again. Then from the tempo, like the initiative that T1 used to like take dragon, reset, whatever, the end result is LNG gets Herald too. So cool. I mean, I guess you get the Herald, but it doesn't really matter because Jay still needs a few more items to actually like pump.
Send multiple people there and look for a dive opportunity, or try and find individual picks and set up for the dragon when it does come up.
And I mean, you can see how much of an emphasis there was towards the dragon. You just look toward the bot side, all the vision there. Now they're getting vision in around that top side as well. Is T1 constantly pushing forward, utilizing hotshot, utilizing volley to check rushes, moving around with Owner, establishing forward vision control here to try to kind of move up that line, and even open up opportunities like this where Faker's pushing it top. Owner and Carry are going to cover him, and it's likely going to be a tier 1 tower unless LNG are really willing to fight for it.
For LNG though, looking at the golden item breakpoints that have been hit, they can also just decide to give up control of the area for now. As long as you don't give over the dragon, I do think that you're going to reach a 2 item breakpoints. We're seeing that Gala's getting close, same for Zika, and from that point on, 1 fight can be enough, and I do still think that is where LNG, if they can actually get that front to back, could look for a turnaround.
I think it can, but I'm really concerned.
We'll see, we'll see.
I think we're going to see T1 committing cooldowns really aggressively just to get chunks down on LNG. We're going to see Soul and Malphite come out right away. We're going to see the ultimate coming out from Carry and Goom.
They're gonna chill out. They're not even gonna contest the Baron. They're gonna just make sure that the enemy's like entertained with Baron. And Maokai can't really force too much unless like Rakan is joined with him, or if he's throwing saplings around mid, and then Rakan can kind of just like disappear, so Aphelios can catch the wave safely. And T1's just gonna just keep mid controlled, and then the side lane's safe. That's all they're gonna do. That's it. Okay, so if he spam warn, yeah, he's gonna spam warn, he's gonna reset. It's a minute 30. So this is like what we call it, like a seesaw. So they came through here, they came over and they took this, right? And it's like a seesaw where like you kind of balance it between the two. So like you swung this way, he resets, swings this way, and then they'll swing back this way again, right? Back and forth, back and forth.
I like the timing of this attempt here from Carry. So he shoots out the ultimate, and it's at a time where if you force the cleanse will not be back for this dragon fight. But maybe gonna play this. I don't think
so this is the first time, you know, like Kira is like kind of out here. I mean, I don't know why he's like approaching this, by the way. He just needs to like run this way, like just run out. Like maybe the reason why he feels like he needs to run this way is because he's like a little worried about this Gwen coming down. And he's like, his jungle's not even here, so I mean, he just lost his flash and shit for free. That makes him a play. Dragon's in a minute. I definitely would have preferred Jace just going bot. Like, this guy clearly is pushing fast enough, and Dragon's in like a minute, so you kind of want to get this going. They're using Herald to kind of gain control of mid, some space, and Gwen is going to be able to push out bot. So as long as no one dies, it's it's pretty good. Like, Gwen should like try to reposition around here if she can. I mean, I really don't like that Gwen ended up coming here. Like, he just used his W, and I don't know. Personally, like, if he was gonna do this correctly, like, he can come up here, and this is fine, but just, like, keep this area as controlled. You can investigate this area, too. And then for the other guys, yeah, I mean, you need to run a little bit. It's a little scary. That's the shit. That's fine. But like I said, if Aatrox tries to go catch the wave or anything, you're chilling. Technically, he shouldn't go, and he actually should stay here and hide. And then if they try to recontest, Aatrox will pop out. The fact that he actually shows here, which is not very useful, allows them to actually kind of recontest this per se. But Gala, how does he connect? Comes around. I feel like these guys need to move a little bit sooner into this space. They also have multiple sweepers, so they can actually get rid of a lot of these wards. I also highly recommend, if you're, you know, a team, don't use both sweepers at the same time. Do one sweeper at a time so you can actually spread this out. Yeah, he just used W, which is not ideal. And since they kind of did an odd contest in a way, it just gave them a little bit of space. Again, not exactly what you want, but they're also weaker. Keep in mind, like, I'm not going to say, like, that they are going to be able to hold this necessarily. Because Gala needs to come in, and he needs to go, right? Like, it's not like he can really do too much. But Scout was also, like, not moving with them. Like, Scout's going back around, but in reality, Scout should just be here with them. Dude, like, it's a little weird. So now Scout's, like, disconnected, and it takes, like, a while to get back. But they should have had this bet, like, more secured. So let's see how this turns out. So the first thing to note is Faker actually just straight up goes on the Gwen. But this, I feel like this is already a little weird. I guess we're going to see how this turns out, because I think why they're worried about seeing this Maokai R is, oh, are they going to be able to burst this dragon? And if I don't go, I'm never going to get a chance. Because I'm going to assume that's what his thinking is. So Gala gets a flash to flash, right? Zeus is like, okay. Oh, Zeus has a... Holy shit. Ooh. That's it. Interesting. This was really well played by Faker. I mean, let's say that for sure. So Gala, fantastic flash. Really great flash. Zika, once this comes out, he actually could press R, because once you see the E being used, he actually could press R right away to try to do anything to these guys. I don't think he actually has his... I'm not sure if he had his W up right away. If he actually anticipated that this was the moment and he should pop W and just throw R and kind of like go about this, it's not bad. And they kind of lost track of this guy a little bit, so that's why like they actually eat ass. Also, Gala had the flash. Does he have Gale Force? I want to see if he used Gale Force and if Zeus tracks it. Okay, you know what? Low key, Zeus actually probably could catch up to that guy and kill him, because he has flash. I think Zeus actually can kill that guy, and the fact that no one like kept track of this guy, like Zika didn't try to like look around a fish, or like Zika didn't just like instantly push into these guys to delay them. This is a big mistake by him. I think this guy mostly did the right thing. I mean, he did mostly the right thing. It's just like, again, you just don't know who the fuck's over the wall. And then Hong, did Hong any more wards? He does. Why wouldn't he ward over the wall? Dude, if he wards over the wall and they see this guy, they're fine. How does Hong play this? So he's trying to react to this situation. Oh, so he looks to help this guy, but the reality is he just needs to play on this and accept this situation as fucked, because this guy really is super screwed. You know, like he's really screwed. Ooh, he just man, he just needs to play with his core and his Aphelios, and they're chilling. Like, you just have to accept that Zika is just screwed. And that's Soul. I'm almost gonna let it play out now at this point, because this is gonna be pretty rough for the rest of the game.
Pushing them back, and meaning that on the other side, it's Zika losing out, it's Hong losing out, as Keria, Guma, and Faker will easily win that 3v2.
And the threat of this full lethality Aatrox, together with Owner, ends up turning into a 2v4, which they win, even though Owner ends up going down. And then, as you said, on the flip side, Zika gets taken down. Hong tries to help him, isn't actually able to get enough done as the arrow. Going wide, T1 now setting up the Baron. You can understand why they are so far ahead. Cloud Soul, their ultimates always available. They can always start this just to force the TP from Zika, who is pushing heavily down on that bot side, but T1 want to play it out a little bit more slowly, not going to risk it, so they're just going to have...
I'm just gonna let it play out, guys. There's nothing much else to say. This is really sad, honestly, like how these games are, how the fights are being played by LNG for being a team that's so good. And I'm not even gonna like fault Scout as much as like Scout's main issue was like his base timer. This game, that was like the biggest issue he had. And then also he should have connected with them better. But outside of that, it's not like he's been horrible. But like even just like the initial jungle tracking and possibly think there was a ward, and then that leading to Tarzan having a really awkward path, and then bottling again just being perma isolated with like 0 plays being made, and Tarzan didn't figure out an idea on how to deal with that, or trust his teammates to actually play out the map so he could actually do some camps and recover. Yeah. Not ideal, man. Really not ideal. Zeus just like, holy shit, dude. Bravo, man. Like, you are killing it. Actually. I don't know, Zika's like, how he compares. I know he's not as good as 369. I know he's not as good as Bin, of course. But I don't know. There's definitely a reasonable top gap going on. And there's also a pretty reasonable jungle gap going on.
And I think it's really interesting because, when you look at the scoreboard, it doesn't seem as bad. But this game has felt incredibly one-sided because it's been T1 dictating where all the action is. It's been T1 pushing in the waves, controlling the vision, and it always feels like the ball is in their court, so to speak, which I think is really what's making it feel like it's so one-sided.
Arrow coming in, will just miss through the goalpost. Stolen out, Kyle's been now used. Potentially a window of opportunity here for the side of T1. Flashing out, others still making it out to safety. A lot of resource committed. Went still on the bottom side of that, so he doesn't have TP available. Tarzan getting chunked. Now LNG not really able to get anything, just a trade of Malkyle.
That's a really big win here for T1. Not having Malkyle available, possessing the Baron way harder.
And Tarzan committed his flash. You can smell the desperation a little bit there. It was a great buffer from Owner. As soon as that flash came in, he's mashing W, gets that dismount to create some space, so no one can follow up there from Tarzan. And now if it does come down to an objective flip, Tarzan not only doesn't have the ulti, but he's chunked and he has no flash. There's almost no if it does.
I mean, it's not like the game is over, by the way, but it's just really awkward. Because these guys are like hitting this shit, right? Your Philios, it just depends on the guns. Like he needs in this game because they're pretty heavy range, and then there's, I mean, they're not like pretty heavy range. They have 2 range characters, but they engage with an Aatrox style that's trying to clean up. Ideally, I would prefer. You probably would prefer sniper in the end. Green white, or green blue. Because blue, if they have melees like this, you actually have a preference for blue R. But you do also want having some of the range because you do not want to be in the middle of this shit at all. Like you cannot face tank this shit with white. Like with white red, for instance. And you have to clear these wards. Your support had the base to refresh his wards. You have sweeper. And so you're approaching through top side, but this doesn't really clear any of the. This didn't really clear any of the wards here, which is like obviously problematic. And if you're Gwen, after pushing this wave, they easily actually could have just gone through here with Gwen here and just taken this over. Like this is the timing to do this, and it's a pretty simple move to make. And yet they're not doing it. By coming through here, it is so much risky. This is really risky. Really risky. Like the only TP behind, like flank board you have is that one. It's not really that great. And if this guy got hit by that arrow, holy shit.
Which I think is really what's making it feel like it's so one-sided.
Like if that hits him, or he has to flash, that sucks. The Mount R was really late by Faker. So Faker actually could have like done it sooner. And then this guy flashes, loses his R, and it's like, holy shit, what just happened? And now they're just playing for Elder. And they're going through side again. And again, going through side is probably one of the worst situations for Maokai. Because there's like nowhere to play to make yourself useful. And you also want to do poke, like, you want to poke with Jace around the side, right? Now this is, like, really odd to see, like, the Philios getting the hell up here. Also, his guns are shit. Like, he has white-green, right? Oof, these guns are really shit. Do you fix these any sooner? This shit is in a minute 10, right? So around the 2-minute mark will tell. He kind of needs to just, like, he actually needs to start fixing his guns now. And preparing for it. Because these guns are terrible. And the fact that, like, these guys are playing up here, by the way. Like, okay, you're playing up here. And what are you going to do? You're, like, circle around, but it's not going to do anything. And then you put yourself in a spot where, like, there's a bridge here that this guy cannot cross. And this guy can't cross because he doesn't have flash. And then T1 sniff it out, and they're like, okay, what the fuck are you guys doing?
Just baiting, buying time. Zika already using the hourglass. Now trying to back away. That's the missed cooldown consumed as well. Is this the window opportunity where T1 want to start it? No, they're just trying to play for more cooldowns. Just build up these small.
And we do see that very healthy, sitting on free items. Did finish his low dump just now.
Exactly, finished LDR, so he's really strong. Last is for in for scout as well.
And so they're trying to tempt some, like, pressure, right?
Owner now stepping in, getting forced backwards. LNG not quite able to secure the loot.
This is so weird. I don't know why T1's buying this, by the way. Like, they see Zika here. Faker should not be here, by the way. Like, what Faker's doing is Faker's believing they're going to come back around, but it's just not going to happen, you know? So either Faker needs to, like, start progressing over here sooner to pressure this, or he needs to join his team. It doesn't really matter, but he just needs to do one of those two things. He kind of, he sits here for so long, it just takes forever. And I know Aatrox is also disconnected, but that's also just because... What? When is this up? This up is in 10 seconds? Like, they're so worried about losing the bot turret. And maybe Zika could maybe deal with it, but at the same time, I'm pretty sure they would just take the Elder and TP and they would be fine. But regardless, let's say, like, he has to do this wave. He has to do this wave. And these guys are sneaking in, which they don't know that these guys are sneaking in. And you see these two here. I'm standing here as well. I'm not leaving. I'm standing here just to see what the hell they're doing. You're never going to be in danger here. Like, they don't have any catch, right? And then my Varus can pretty much just stand here and just actually start hitting it. And then my Sylas can just start creeping over. And of course, you know, keep in mind, this could be a trap. So if this is too scary, like I said, just come over here, man. And, or even come over here and, like, connect with your Aatrox. And, like, actually push them out of this shit. Because he's not doing anything. He's doing absolutely nothing. And so the Ash Arrow comes down. This guy's moving forward. He's too scared to go in because obviously if they're trapping here, they don't have vision in this whole area. It's bad for him. So he's okay if he actually gets, like, played on. But again, Sylas should be here. If Sylas is here, Varus can actually just stand here and just wait. And, like, watch this happen. And Varus can actually move into the situation sooner. So that's why this is, like, really weird. Really weird. And now Aatrox can finally join them. But he's still basing because it looks like he wants to get an item. But I mean, like, and then, okay, please don't tell me he goes to this. Like, just start it. Because now he's putting himself in the same position. Like, you're in the same position again, where, like, they're pushing in through here, and your Aatrox is stuck here. And you're not even prepared to, like, just block them off or even just staying with the team and then just pressuring this. Because they're not going to take the inhib. I guarantee you they will not take the inhib in time. I guarantee you it. And Owner does the exact same thing, except this time he has a pink gear, so it's a little bit safer. He's like, okay, I'm going in, guys. Good luck. And this guy can't do anything. I think he... Did he screw up his E? He might have. I'm not 100% sure. So these guys are actually, like, managing to pull this off. And they're going back to it again. So they're just doing the exact same thing over and over again because they're realizing it's working. This guy missed his spell. That's rough. That is rough. And that guy's dead. So what I don't understand, though, is if they actually plan to do a, like, attack, why is Zika not here? Why is he not, like, ready to pounce back? Like, he should be on this situation. And then, of course, Zeus should just, like, flash now. Like, he actually shouldn't accept this situation. Just flash. If he's hitting Rakonar, just get the fuck out. That, like, you're gonna win if you know what I mean? But if you get hit by the W, you might die. But magically, you know, it turns around. And then, yeah, the game's over. So, wow. That was literally game 2 ending. That is crazy. I cannot believe that.